Yo, what's good my YouTube family? Alex here, back again with another video. Thank you as always for tuning in. If this is the first time you guys have tuned in, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex Moore. I'm 31 years old, currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina, originally raised in Sacramento, California. As you guys can see by the title, today I'm going to be talking about my experience so far being a homeowner in a whole new state, a whole new city, away from everybody, and kind of just talking to you guys about my transition and what life has been like so far being a first-time home buyer while also being away from everybody. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, you know that I have talked a little bit about the process that I went through of buying a home. And just to fill you guys in, my main reason for buying a home in the first place is really just wanting to get some type of stability in my life. For one, I'm someone who, if I'm being honest, since about 2014, I've moved dang near every single year. Like, I've never actually stayed in an apartment for longer than a year and a half. And as I got older, I realized that I really just want to be able to have some stability in my life, have a foundation, and not have to worry about apartments raising my rent every single month when my lease was over. So I thought to myself, you know what, let me go ahead and move in with my mom, save up some money for a year, and go ahead and buy a crib. Now, Charlotte actually wasn't in the plans for me to buy a crib at all. Kind of just came out of nowhere. I originally did want to stay in Georgia. I wasn't really finding anything in my budget with what I was looking for. So then I started to just look all around the country, seeing what homes were priced at all over the states. And I was able to find a nice price home. Brand new, would be built from the ground up. I'd get to actually customize and pick certain layouts that I wanted in the home and just be able to go through the process of really customizing the home to how I want it was big to me. And I thought to myself, well, you know, Charlotte, a lot of people say is kind of like a little mini version of Atlanta. Like, it probably won't be too bad. I'm the type of person, as long as I have at least a basketball team, a football team, and some good places to eat, I'm pretty much good to go. So I made the choice. All right, let me go ahead and move to Charlotte. All I did in the meantime in Atlanta while I waited for my house to be built, just keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking. I ended up stacking up more money than I've ever seen in my life. So first thing I want to tell you guys is there's nothing wrong with moving back in with your parents. I lived with my mom, I want to say, from July of 2022 till September of 2023. Now, it isn't easy. Like, trust me, it was boring, didn't have much of a social life, you know, didn't really enjoy it too much, especially as you get older. As a man, it's not really deemed upon to live at home with their parents. It's not really a good look. But for me, I was able to suck it up, realize it was temporary, and I enjoyed the fact that I was able to just pay off any debt that I had while also stacking up as much money as possible. So I was able to stack up enough money, make that down payment, make that move to Charlotte. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was on cloud nine when I first moved here. Being 30 years old, being able to say I'm a homeowner, not only that, but my house is a pretty decent house, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a really good starter home, like, for sure. So I was feeling myself. I'm like, yo, I'm making good money. I got a nice crib now. Like, I'm gonna be going to Hornets games all the time, Panthers games all the time. Like, it's gonna be lit. Like, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be on Instagram, you know, just posting everything. And it was like that for maybe the first couple of months. But honestly, y'all, if I'm keeping it in the stack, all of that fades relatively quickly, and you realize that's really just your ego. Like, your ego is really speaking when you're doing stuff like that. And what I learned quickly is that chasing a goal or a dream, it feels great once you go ahead and achieve that, but oftentimes you'll realize you'll actually just go back down to the level that you were at before, the vibration you were at before, whatever your normal state of being is, you're just gonna go back to that relatively quickly. So I wanna say for me, maybe I was on cloud nine for 2, 3, 4 months, and then after that it was just like, okay, I went back to exactly how I was feeling before, which is one thing I want to tell you guys is don't just buy a home or even just making a big purchase or whatever the case may be because you think it's going to make you feel better. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, in that very moment, it's going to make you feel better. Your ego is going to be stroked. Like, you're going to be excited. Like, dang, I went ahead and achieved my dream, my goal, whatever the case may be. But afterwards, you're just going to go back to feeling the same. And sometimes you're going to feel empty. Sometimes you're going to question, dang, was it worth it? Like, why do I still feel the same? And that's how you know maybe you need to do a little bit more internal work so that you can kind of work through that and kind of focus on not so much material things to make you happy. So that's the first thing I learned very, very quickly, was that, you know, that cloud nine that I'm on, it's gonna go away relatively quick and you're gonna go back to your normal state of being. And that leads me right into the second thing that I learned. It actually made me second guess, did I make the right decision? Now, the reason why I felt like that was because, as I just stated, I never thought about Charlotte as being a place to live. I didn't really have much of a plan as far as what I wanted to do in this new city. I was just so caught up on being able to buy a home. That's the only thing I really cared about, if I'm being honest. But as I got into the day-to-day lifestyle and realized, like, dang, I live in this city, but I don't have any friends. I'm in this home, but it's just me and my little dog. Like, what am I doing? Like, was it worth doing that? Like, should I have just put all that money into starting a new business or putting investments into something? I think I'm like, dang, imagine if I would have invested into Bitcoin, where I'd be at now if I did something like that a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, I'd be sitting on a lot of money, but I'm sure y'all would too. That's a whole nother story. But it really made me just question, like, dang, Alex, like, did you do this for you? Did you really do this because you wanted to be stable? Or was it something that you just wanted to be able to flex and, like, prove to yourself that you could do something? So that second guessing is big. I would tell you guys, like, don't move into a home until you know for sure that's what you want to do, because it's such a big purchase. It's such a big investment. It's something that you're going to be stuck with for a long time. Obviously, yes, you can sell it, you can rent it out, you can Airbnb it, which is all reasons why I also decided to get a home. But you don't just want to move in somewhere and then 6 months down the road decide, dang, I actually don't want to live here after all. Like, it's not as fun as I expected it to be, or it's just me, I don't have a family, like, why do I need all this? So I would say that just make sure you put a lot of thought, a lot of time in, and you know for sure that's something you want to do before you make that purchase, because the last thing you want is to be thinking down the road, dang, I could have used that money for something else. Just make sure that if you really want to buy a home, know why you want to buy the home and figure out what your why is for that. Another thing that I've learned since moving into my home is I get homesick more than I thought I would. And I've lived away from Sacramento since 2014, but I've lived in California most of that time. I didn't move out of California until 2021. And so now being so far away and not being able to just take a drive up to go see my family or see my friends, it kind of sucks. It's like, dang, man, like, I wish I could wake up and just go play ball with the homies or go get some food or just go kick it with Pops for a little bit. It ain't like that no more. Like, now all I can do for the most part is FaceTime my people in Georgia, FaceTime my people in California, or wherever people are at, but you never really get that same feeling of being face to face with someone. Now, yes, you can go ahead and buy a plane ticket, but you know, tickets are expensive these days. That could be $400, $500, depending on where you're at. You know, you got to get time off from work. Like, a lot of things go into that versus being able to just hop in the car and just go pull up and see your friends, or have your friends pull up on you, so on and so forth. So being homesick is something that really, really hit me, especially realizing, like, dang, I got all this, but my family ain't really here to see me like that. You know, my mom might come see me every once in a while. My grandparents actually did come, and we were able to have Christmas at my house this year, which was kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like, man, I'm missing all the other family members. Like, nobody else is here. Like, it can be a little lonely. So just make sure if you buy a home, especially if you're doing it out of state or in a whole new city, just make sure that you know for sure your support system is going to pull up on you, or you'll be able to go ahead and pull up on them pretty frequently, or you're just cool with starting a new life and you feel like you can make friends pretty quickly. Me personally, I'm an introvert and I stay inside probably 90% of the time, so I don't really have a lot of that interaction with people like that outside of just being at work. So it's a little bit of a struggle for me, but maybe for you it won't really be that difficult. And probably the last thing that I've learned is you gotta fix everything yourself. It's not like living in an apartment where maintenance can come fix the toilet if the toilet is having issues, or, you know, if the air conditioning isn't working, someone can come fix it. When it's just you gotta do everything on your own. And these things can add up and be very expensive, on top of the fact that you really don't wanna mess things up even worse. There's been plenty of times where I've had to call my mom or be like, yo, how do I do this? Or how do I fix that? And thankfully my mama, she's owned enough homes to where it's nothing. She's like, oh, do this, do this, do this. Or it's like, yo, I got to go ahead and go on YouTube and look this up and figure out, you know, how do I fix this? Because nobody's coming to save you. Like, it's literally you. And at the end of the day, you got to make sure you fix whatever problems you have in the crib, and you better make sure that mortgage payment gets paid. Because if you are late on that payment, your credit is going to tank. Like, I'm talking, it's going to take a big hit. Thankfully, one of the cool things when you own a home is that typically you have a little bit more time before you have a late payment. Like for me, I have about 2 weeks, I believe it's 15 days to be exact, before I even accrue a late payment, which is a lot better than apartments where typically it's only 7 days. But you better make that payment on time, because if you don't, you might be cooked, my boy. I'm not gonna lie, that credit is gonna take a big hit. So yeah, just money management, making sure that you have enough money to pay all your bills. You know, having a home isn't cheap, especially in this economy where, you know, interest rates are a little bit on the higher side right now. You know, you gonna pay a decent amount, possibly depending on where you live, for your home. So just be prepared for that. If you are looking to buy a home, that, you know, you gotta make that payment on time every single month. Otherwise, you know, credit is gonna take a huge hit. You're not gonna be able to get certain things in the future, maybe certain loans that you want. You know, it's just gonna make things a lot harder seeing that on your report. But all in all, it's been an experience for sure. I definitely don't want to sit here and act like it's just been the worst thing in the world. There's some great things that come with owning a home. So this video is not in any way, shape, or form designed to stop you guys from wanting to make a decision like that. This is just some of the things that I've experienced so far personally. Now for you guys might have a great experience. You know, maybe you'll be able to have friends come over and party all the time, or, you know, just do whatever it is that you guys do. I just wanted to share with you guys my experience so far. Being a homeowner for a little bit over a year now definitely had its pros for sure, but it also does have its cons as well. So just make sure you truly think about why you want to make that choice, and just know what it can kind of come with. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's Alex. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.